It's been a busy summer for Aberdeen so far. New manager coming in, new players coming in. Connor Barron set to leave the club and join Rangers, and things are not getting any quieter because it looks like Duke is going to be leaving, and possibly Mitov could be coming in to be the new #1 in the sticks. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Football, here to talk about Aberdeen. They seem to be the team that is making things happen so far this summer, whether it be the new manager coming in, whether it be getting player deals over the line, or whether it be players leaving the club. We know that Connor Barron. We know that Connor Barron is set to be leaving the club. It looks like he is nailed on now to join Rangers. I'm not sure what kind of compensation fee Rangers are going to have to pay for that, but we will see over the next couple of days. Duke is another player that looks like he could be leaving, and his agent has went as far as saying that Aberdeen have to sell him this summer. He doesn't really see any future for Duke at Aberdeen, and he is pretty much begging Aberdeen to sell Duke. And then we have St Johnstone goalkeeper Mitov also being linked to Aberdeen as well. But first we will have a look at Duke. So Duke's obviously had 2 years at Aberdeen now. First season was a little bit better. Second season, wasn't so great. When he first joined the first campaign, he got 18 goals in all competitions, and Aberdeen finished third that year. That obviously helped Aberdeen get into the Europa League as well. So after the first season, people were looking at Duke, and people were talking about Duke and Miovski and how Aberdeen had a great partnership potentially with those two. They had two guys that could score goals. And then when was the last time Aberdeen had two guys up the top of the pitch that could get to about 20 goals? It's been a long time since they had that. So after one season, Duke and Miovski were kind of being spoken about in the same category. But last season, it just wasn't good enough. It was poor. But was it Duke's fault? Probably not. He only scored 7 goals with 5 assists, but he wasn't exactly playing in his best position, and that seems to be why Duke's representative, Carlos Oliveira, wants him out. He said that there's been plenty of options on the table for Duke in the summer of last year and in January 2024, but Aberdeen refused to sell. So this is what Carlos Oliveira said regarding Duke and him needing to get out of Aberdeen. He says, quote, "Is there transfer interest in Duke right now? Yes. A lot since the end of the first season. This January, despite being a bad season, it wasn't Duke's fault. Who scores 18 goals playing in his position up front? Then this season, they put him on the wings. He'll have to leave this summer. Aberdeen will have to realise that they passed up excellent offers in the summer of 2023 and January 2024. Duke will have one more year on his contract, and in January 25 he can sign as a free player. We don't want that. We're grateful to Aberdeen, but they'll have to be flexible. It wasn't just young boys who were interested earlier this year. Several teams wanted Duke, but Aberdeen rejected everything." End of quote. So, it does look like Duke is going. It looks like that there's interest, and that Duke doesn't want to be at Aberdeen. He doesn't want another season playing out of position, and that the offer is basically being pressured that Aberdeen have to accept. So we will see what happens. Will Duke leave? I'm not sure. I know it's a rebuilding season for Aberdeen, but they could lose Miovski this year. Do they want to lose Duke as well? I doubt, the way Duke's manager's talking about me, I doubt that Duke would sign a contract extension, so probably Duke's going to leave anyway, whether it be this season and Aberdeen can get some money for him, or whether he leaves a free on the end of the season. And to be fair, his manager did say that, so should Aberdeen get rid of Duke? Probably. Will they get as much money as they could have got for the guy, especially after his first season when he scored 18 goals? Definitely not, but I think Duke's been an okay player for Aberdeen. I think Aberdeen are stronger with him as an option, but we'll see whether or not they decide to keep him. And speaking of options, Aberdeen have reportedly made a move for Dimitar Mitov, who plays for St Johnstone. So he is Jimmy Phelan's #1 in terms of goalkeeper targets, and it looks like he could be on his way to Aberdeen. Obviously, Kyle Rose is leaving the club, or I think he's probably already left, to be fair. He won't be there next season anyway, and it looks like Mitov could be the one joining. We don't have any official quotes, but there's also been talks of Rangers reserve keeper Robbie McCrory coming to Aberdeen, but that would cost Aberdeen a hell of a lot more money than Mitov would. So I think that it's possible that I think Mitov to Aberdeen very well could happen. He's got 1 year left on his contract at St Johnstone. So I think he'd be a much cheaper option than Robbie McCrory. I mean, you could be talking maybe 100,000, 200,000, whereas Rangers for Robbie McCrory, they seem to want, at least $500,000, maybe even closer to $1 million. So, yeah, I think that Mitov to Aberdeen could be a move that we see happening this summer. It would be a cheaper move than Robbie McCrory. Plus, I think Mitov actually had a good season. People might look at it and go, this isn't a good move for Aberdeen just because he plays for St Johnstone, but I thought Mitov was one of the better keepers in the league last season, and I think if he played with Aberdeen, he'd be better. If you play with better players, you play with a better manager, you play with a bigger club, then you're probably going to improve as a player. So I wouldn't be surprised if this move happens. I think we could see it. Anyway, guys, that's it. Aberdeen. Connor Barron looks like he will join Rangers over the next couple of days, so we'll have to wait and see what happens there. But he is pretty much gone for Aberdeen. He will not be staying at Aberdeen. It's just a matter of seeing which club he ends up at, and will Aberdeen get any sort of compensation for him. That's what we're going to have to wait and find out. Anyway, that's it. Catch you in the next one. Till then, peace.